Okay, let's see here. We have 612 science. Yeah, let's finish off this tier with aerodynamics. That'll get me the Weasley engine so we can build ourselves a good... And also here, now we can get the real Mark 3, Mark 1-3 command pod. Grab that. This is deployable solar panels. Sure, let's be a little calm. Should I go up here? There is our mainsail engine. I probably do want that. And one more of these bigger ones. So we got fuel cans. That is a really wide one. The Morocco Max, slanty. Oh, those are some nice ones. Big fairings, slanty. See, it always gets hard when you got just one that you can pick there. Landing gears. No. What do we got down here? Ladders. Oh, and the scanning arm thing. That might be fun. Maybe you'll do a rover. Let's think. Down here we do have more the weather station. More relay antennas. Better probe body. The hex. Little parts. I think I should go... You know what? I'm thinking getting the scanning arm. Might get a rover or something contract from that. Okay. Well, welcome. I'm glad you tuned back in there, Toby. Alright, so there we go. Just warp to sunrise. We've got to build ourselves a geostationary satellite. Let's see what we can do here. So we're looking at... Let's put all these over here. Not the repair satellite. Oh, that's got to wait. Okay, this one. Position a satellite in a geostationary orbit. That's the one. So, unmoon, just always got to look through these. There's the orbit we need. It's got to have a Science Junior board. It's got to have a Mystery Google board. Okay. Let's do this. See if we can do this quick. So, I need the probe body. And we also are going to need... I have no plan, by the way. I should state that right up front. I have zero plans. No plan for me. But we got to put on... Let's put on what we really should have to put on, which is... Because of the contract, unfortunately, even though it has zero value, I'm going to put this stuff on. I also want to turn this into a relay that we're going to put in orbit about the moon just to make some kind of use of it. And there we go. So I'm going to put on 2 of these, what are they? The HG5 antennas. That should work like that. Okay, so now I got what's required. A little bit of electricity is probably a good idea, and some solar generation. So I do have these guys. You know what, let's put on 2 of these. It's going to be tall anyway. Let's put the goo up here. No. Put the goo back where it was. And let's get some of these Oxstat solar panels, turn them this way. Go with 6. Like so. Local, and we'll just pull these out a little bit. That looks all right, I think. Solar generation. Okay, and I just want to make sure I got everything I really do need on it. I think I do. So the budget, a budget. So geostationary orbit is to get from low orbit about Kerbal to geostationary orbit is 1100 meters per second, but I also want to transfer it out to the moon, which is a further 380. Should be writing these things down. And then 380 plus 1100 is 1480. So I'm going to write that number down. So 1480 meters per second. And if this thing is going to deal with the top part of the Kerbal insertion of its ascent, I'm going to add about another 1,000 on that. So I'm looking at around 1580. Let's see. Now I could do this in a... No, I don't want to do it in a couple of stages because that'll end up meaning debris floating around. I'd rather not do that. So vacuum, that's 24. Wow, I'm already way over. Okay, so we don't need anything as big as this. Where's the smaller fuel can? That guy. Put the spark back. Single spark, I think should probably do it. 1566? I think so. What's the TWR? 1.6. That's plenty. That's more than plenty. I'm honestly thinking of maybe even scaling this down a little bit. Like going with this thing on the bottom here. The only reason it's 2.5 meters is because of... And then an Oscar B. And maybe not. Let's... What about a few spiders rather than the spark? What's the... Spark is 20 kilonewtons. The spiders are 2 each. Oh no, let's go back with the spark. That would be a lot of spiders to make up for that. And then I'm thinking, where are those? Just trying to keep the weight down. 1505? That's already tons. Maybe I'll just... 1505 is a little low. What if I lose the big donut? $1570. I'm happy with that. Okay, we'll do a little bit of... I don't know why I like them silver. Oh, look at that! With the... That's coming from ReStock. I like that. If I put them this way... I like that a lot. Sneak them in a little bit. A little bit of extra structure. Okay, so that's 1570. Thrust to weight of 1.51, which is plenty. And blinky lights. Blinky lights. And for those people in the chat, this is where I have the greatest of struggles when it comes to paying attention to the chat, is during... while I'm building. And I'm concentrating on my build. Blink on. Half-second interval. There are better textures for... What I might just do then, if that's like that, let's see if I can bring these down a bit. Now we're into aesthetic choices. Sure. So those are clipping a little less. These can be white. Top can be gray, because it's already gray on the probe body. Oh, the probe body can be silverized. Okay. So 1566, healthy thrust to weight ratio. Yeah, let's get this in orbit. Let's get this done. Let's at least get the geostationary part done. I don't think I'm missing it. This thing has built-in reaction wheels. Yep. So I think this is gonna be okay. So the decoupler, the little one. Oh, this is still the situation where I don't have the little decoupler. Oh, I hate you, game. Oh, I do have the little stack separator, maybe? Yes, I do have the little stack separator, so... Yay for debris! Okay, we'll live with it. You know what? No, I hate debris. TD-12. Turn off the shroud. And we'll just turn down that ejection force. Okay, and this is going to need to be enclosed in a fairing of some kind. Hopefully... Can I get... You know what? Stop it! Turn on the interstage nodes. I always find it problematic when the decoupler is that close to the fairing. So we'll just put a little distance between it. Just come up like this. Straight up. Close her off. There, beautiful fairing. Clamshell deploy. Oh, two pieces, and then just there. That's good. It's not that big, and that should go with that. That's in the right spot. Okay, we just need some sort of lifter. This is going to be Moon Relay 2 in the end. So why don't I call it that right now? And put a rocket under it. So 1480, 3600. So that's 5,000. 36 and 14 is 5,000. Yes. Yes, 5,000. Carry the 1. 5,000. 5,080 meters per second for a total budget. I'm looking for you, swivel engine. There you are. Okay, it's almost there. I got a healthy TWR. Is it big enough? I could just go with the Reliant. That might... Reliant's a little bit more efficient and a little lighter. Yeah, I think just one more little tank. $14, that's not quite enough. I think I said, yeah, 5,080. I want to go a little more because I want to put fins and junk on it. 5109, that's good. Some tail fins on the bottom. Three should suffice. Some reaction wheels here in the middle. Or somewhere in the general vicinity. What kind of textures do we got here? I don't know what I'm doing. Sure. There we go. That's oh, it's a little, once I started doing that, it's a little bit on the light side. Do I still got the TWR I need? I just want to make sure of that. Oh yeah. So we can put in just a smidge more fuel. A smidge more fuel. That's plenty. That's plenty. Okay, I'd say we're looking at a rocket. Let's adjust the launch TWR a little bit. There we go. I always go for a 3. Now, do I have... Last time, if I click on this... Yeah, there are my action groups. I don't care if this is a bug, I'm going for it. If I click on the part, suddenly I get full action groups, even though... I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. I like full action groups. You can turn on full action groups in the part description, or in the settings anyway. So on action group 5, I'm going to put the fairing, so I won't depend on, you know... the staging for that, and we'll take it out of the staging diagram altogether. On action group 0, we'll deploy these antennas. And that, I think, is a rocket that should get this job done. I just want to read through. Must generate power, fully assembled when launched, and have an antenna. It has those. Got to get into that Keostationary orbit. Hold that stationary orbit above this particular waypoint. We'll get to that in a bit. Have the Science Junior on there. It's there. Have the Mystery Goo on there. It's there. I think we're golden. I think we're golden. We're going to launch. Now, the Keostationary orbit has an inclination of 0, so we can just launch whenever we want. KSC being on the equator as it is. Alright, so, yeah, throttle up, SAS on, and I'm very paranoid that I'm missing something, but whatever. Nobody's aboard. I think I got lots of money by now. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Okay, boom, and boom. We're off. We're off, we're off, we're off. Okay. Did I put on enough blinky lights? Probably not. Probably not. You can never have too many blinky lights. Where I really get the grief about the blinky lights, whoops, let's just get this going right, is should be able to just follow. I think this thing should be aerodynamically sound enough. I just want to get this right on a 90-degree heading. But in my shorts, I get so much grief about the blinky lights because the shorts quite often are sped up. I speed up the playback on the shorts. No. Get back, you stinker. And so the blinky lights are just going berserk. I am really losing. I should have put bigger fairings on here. This thing is really...
this might be a loss, folks. This might be a loss. No! No!
Okay, I need more this fairing at the top. It happens to all of us. Okay, we're just going to let this... I'm going to call this one a loss. There's nobody aboard. If there are Kerbals aboard, I'd revert to launch. But, you know, it's only money. It's only money. So, you can actually see by the way this is falling how much drag is associated with this fairing. It's really hard to judge. But as soon as you get into the fairings, that always gets problematic. And... boosh. We haven't had enough crashes in this game yet. Oh, I might have been able to set it down. You're right, I probably could have. There's definitely a lot of fuel in there. Oh, well. Let's go back to, I guess, the Space Center. That's okay. It happens. Alright, so, and the thing is that's a little frustrating is if you put on the mass and the lift, see, it tells you that the center of lift is down here, but it's not taking into account the fairing. It flat out isn't, so, you know, that's frustrating. Okay, here, these can be a little bit better placed. So, John was suggesting active tail fins. I could either do that or go with these. Let's go with the active tail fins. What the heck? Hopefully my Delta V won't take too much of a hit from this. So right down like that. Let's do that. And Delta V, I remember was 5,000. Oh, I need more now. Need more. Bigger tank up here. Want to use. Okay, that. Shoot. Let's put one more. I think I got the thrust for it, so I'm not too worried about it. It's gonna do everything darkish. Dark. There we go. Alright, and I like to, if I use these guys, tweak down that authority limiter like 8 or something, because I find that it's too aggressive for my taste. Okay. Hopefully I can still get enough thrust for takeoff. Oh yeah, easy. Okay. Alright, let's try that. So save, and we'll try it again. So it was suggested about adjusting the fuel flow priority. Yeah, you can do it from here. If you turn up the fuel flow priority on these lower tanks. So I'll turn that one up to 5. That means this tank will get drained before the other tanks. And then if I turn this one up to like 4, then this tank will be drained second. And then if I turn this one up to like 3, then this one will be next, and then this one will be drained last. And what this does is it keeps the center of mass as far forward as possible, which keeps it hopefully a little bit more aerodynamically stable. We'll find out. That may or may not have been necessary, but it doesn't hurt. Okay, let's try this again. But the whatchamacalls them, these tail fins, bigger tail fins, but also tail fins with some attitude control should help. Over you go. Try and turn that off again. Again, I want it to follow that prograde vector. I like to just turn off SAS and let it do its own natural thing, but whoa, it really wants to roll. What's that like? Not bad. There, 90. Stick on that, you stinker. Really does want to roll, though. Sir. Of course, now the Navball's upside down, it's got me all messed up. Pitching over a little quickly. I'm keeping SAS on. It's pretty good. I don't have the lock to prograde. I don't have that pro body. I could have unlocked the pro body that had. I remember when looking at the science. Here, I'll reduce throttle. I remember looking at the science and seeing that ability. The better probe body was an option when I was in the research and development, and I decided not to go for that. Kind of wish I did. Okay, so we'll reduce throttle here a little bit. Keep that apoapsis from getting too far ahead. Keep it right onto that prograde vector. There we go. What's our altitude? I agree. People are talking about advanced tweakables. That ability to change the fuel flow priority. So just to show you, this tank's now empty. This tank is emptying, and this tank up here is still full. That ability to adjust the fuel flow priority is in advanced tweakables, which is a setting you need to turn on in order to have access to it. I need more thrust. Actually, I probably have pitched over too far. Let's pitch up a bit. But it's not on by default, which is very annoying. It should be on by default. Same with extended burn time indicator. That also is not on by default. And it's the first things, those are the two first things I do when I go into settings, is turn those things on. Okay, I'm just going to let this kind of roll now up until I get to 80 kilometers on the altitude here. We can lose the fairing. That went nicely. Put on our blinky lights. There's probably not too much in the way of blinkiness, but 85 kilometers on the apoapsis. Turn SAS off. A little high on the apoapsis. It's going to tumble on me. Okay. I guess SAS is staying on if you're going to be that way. Man, it's like you've done this before, only about a gazillion times. Getting into orbit. And for people that are new, just like I can't say it enough. It's, you know, I can understand people's frustration, because so many other space games you go, I'm going to build a, you know, Saturn V rocket and I'm going to go to the moon, and you just do it. And in this game, you're going to get punished severely if you think that you're just going to do that right off the bat. You really do need to practice. Start small and just think about getting those skills. And then actually, once you have the skills, it's pretty easy to scale up. Scaling up is not that difficult. I am still on the main booster, which I'm happy with. So get her down here towards the horizon. We're about 45 seconds from apoapsis. Got 374 meters per second on this stage. Jeepers. That was either I did my math really badly, or, which is always possible, or that was a much more efficient launch than I anticipated that it would be. Deploy our antennas. Here, let's give a little bit of throttle, because I think I'm going to be able to do this all on the main booster, which I kind of don't want to do. So what I'm going to do, give myself a little bit of time to Apoapsis. There. And then we're going to stage, even though there's still 167 meters per second left in there. So that this will end up, its periapsis is 33 kilometers, so that will end up getting deleted. But I don't want to have this floating around. Of course, I could just delete it in the tracking station, but I don't want to do that either. So I'm just going to get rid of it. We got a lot of fuel. Time warp. Still not quite in orbit. Very, very close, though. Just on the little probe now. Of course, if I run out of fuel on this thing, I'm going to regret having done what I just did. Alright, finish this off. A little bitty spark engine. Oh, this is... Ugh, okay. There we go. Close enough. Close enough. So let's talk about doing this, getting it above this Murden's bump. So if I go into map view, here's the orbit we're shooting for. That's easy enough. That's just to transfer out there. But I need to be above, this I guess is it. Yeah, Murden's bump. So once I'm in this geostationary orbit, I will have the same orbital period as the rotation period of Kerbal, which means I'll stay over the exact same spot. And that spot has to be this. So how do you end up doing that? Well, what you need to do is know how long it's going to take you to get from this orbit to this orbit. And it's actually not too hard to calculate. If you can find the formula for orbital period, and I have some math videos on how to do all that kind of stuff, it's just the orbital period of the transfer orbit from here to here divided by 2, because you only do half an orbit to get out to here. And that turns out to be 2.77 hours. I worked it out ahead of time. Clearly I'm not doing that in my head, which is about 46% of a Kerbal day. So 46% of a Kerbal day is 6 hours. So in a single day, Kerbal rotates 360 degrees, of course. So if you take 46% of that, that comes out to be 166 degrees. So in the amount of time it takes us to get from here up to here, this waypoint will have moved 166 degrees, almost halfway around the planet. So what that means is that you need to... The apoapsis, when you start your burn, needs to be 166 degrees ahead of this. But remember, you need to burn on the opposite side, right, to raise your apoapsis here. So if you take the 166 and you subtract 180, you get 14 degrees. So you need to start your burn about 14 degrees ahead of this guy. So I hope that didn't sound too complicated, but that's, so basically, I need to, if I eyeball this, there's the waypoint, about 14 degrees. I can eyeball it and do, about here is where I need to start my burn to raise this part so that this big angle is 166 degrees. Now, as far as the timing goes, you don't have to do the math. An easy thing to do is simply put a maneuver node. I'm not going to burn this. Push out your apoapsis till it gets out to where it needs to be. And then simply look at what's my time to apoapsis. And it tells you here. It's, why did I think 2 hours? Oh boy. It's saying 1 hour and 23 minutes. My math might stink. Okay. Okay. I might have to go over my math again. Let's move this. Wow. I don't think... Okay, my math stinks. So an hour, and I'm going to call that an hour and 23 minutes. We're going to do a very quick calculation here. 1 hour which is 60 minutes. 23 minutes divided by, oh my gosh, 23 minutes divided by 60, that's funny, plus an hour is 1.4 days. And if I multiply that by 3, or 1.4 hours, if I multiply, or sorry, divide, poop. 23 divided by 60. Math was assuming an 80-kilometer orbit, which was true, but I wouldn't think my orbit's that different. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, 23 divided by 60 plus the 1 hour, and multiply that by, divide that by 6. That's the fraction of a day, times 360. I'm now getting 83 degrees. 83 degrees minus 180 is 97 degrees. Wow, that makes a big difference. So I need to be about 97 degrees ahead of this waypoint. So more like around here. So that this angle, yeah, this angle from the waypoint to here is 97 degrees. Now, you can eyeball it and it should work. In fact, I think I will just eyeball it. But if you want to, I'm trying to avoid mods here, but if you want to, if I take a look at Waypoint Manager, it's telling me exactly the longitude of the waypoint. See that? And if I open up Kerbal Engineer, which I forgot to put the chip on here, so it's not going to happen, the Kerbal Engineer can give you your longitude. And then it's dead easy to figure out these angles because you know the longitudes. You just have to subtract them. But anyway, I'm going to just do this generally. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Get this done. So I said, what did I say? Negative 97 degrees, which is... So, of course, as I'm time warping around... Center this on Kerbin. That'll help. Kerbin is rotating, so this angle's changing as we go. So just give me a moment. We'll get a little close to it. Okay, close. Stop the time warp. Grab this. I want the angle between this maneuver node and that waypoint to be about 97. And as far as my eyeballs go, I'm saying that's close enough. It's a little over 90 is all I'm going by. 90 degrees, of course, is a quarter turn. I'm going with it. It has a generous... you know, generous... Oh, I guess I got to put myself on prograde here and get ready to do this. It has a generous... I can get these words out. You have a generous fudge factor. I don't think that's the word I'm shooting for, but you know, the margins are pretty generous. There's a little bit better. Okay. I'm going to do this burn, 40 seconds, and I'm shooting to get my apoapsis up to 2,863 kilometers and some change. It's a generous allowance. It is. It's pretty good. Of course, I hope I didn't. I got to go over my math. I'm curious. I know people are saying, oh, that's because the math was based on an 80-kilometer orbit and you're in about an 85-kilometer orbit, but I wouldn't think that'd be that different, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and a 2, and a 1, and a go. You know, my original plan was... Ooh, this has got some lopsidedness to it because of the goo container. I should have put the goo container on top. I should have put this goo container right on top of there, and that would have dealt with the lopsidedness. I was going to put a Kerbal Engineer chip on here. I just forgot to do it because I was in such a frackety-frack hurry. It really wants to turn on me because the center of mass is off. I wouldn't think it'd make that much of a difference, but apparently it does. Okay, I'm going to cut throttle really soon. There we go. What am I going for? 8,863. So 2,863. So I'm just looking at my apoapsis. Let's turn down the throttle. Back on program. I'm not even looking at this anymore. 2,863 and some change. And again, there's a generous allowance on that too. So 50, not 63 and change. That's good enough. Put the throttle limiter back up. Put that back up to here. And then we'll get into map view and we'll see if I didn't just completely botch this. Which is entirely possible that I completely botched this. Okay, so if all of my hastily done live calculations were correct, and my eyeballing were correct, by the time this probe is up to here, we should be, this waypoint should be right below us. And then of course we got to circularize. Maybe I should do a maneuver for that. That would be a good plan. Whoops. And again, there's nothing too precise about all this. You just need to get anything close to the orbit that you see in green will do fine. So I'm sure that'll be fine. As he's going to go in and start playing with it. I'm just getting it right on the... I'm sure that's fine. Okay. So let's see how this goes. So... I'm gonna go by looks here. So the idea is we're gonna be here when this is right below us. And actually notice that that part of the contract is now green. So it considers, oh, now it's not gone green, it's gone white. Oh boy. But we'll be slowing down up here. Maybe it'll catch up to us again. Oh, it's gone green again. So it's considering us to be close enough to being directly over that waypoint. And of course, as we're slowing down as we approach our apoapsis. Now I should pay some attention to this burn. I think we're golden. I think we're golden. Yep, I think we're good. So yeah, this worked out, right? There's the waypoint. You can't see it here, unfortunately, but I think it worked out. Let's put this onto our... maneuver. Oh, I see pro tips. Pro tip. I'm all about the pro tips. Give me some pro tips. Of course, pro tip number 1 is pay attention to your maneuver node. If you miss getting it in the right spot, just make a somewhat smaller orbit and let it walk. Yeah, absolutely. If this ends up botching it, I mean, if this ended up not working, bring up your periapsis, but just somewhere lower. And then keep just going around until eventually you do end up over top of it. Because you're in an orbit, right? Once you're in an orbit, you're not going anywhere. So it's not a disaster if this didn't work. But I can see here it's green. All I got to do is get the contract parameters to go green on me. Let's get closer to the maneuver node. And if it isn't obvious, I really like... This is the kind of stuff I actually really enjoy in Kerbal Space Program. Is this kind of finagly... Oh my gosh, it really wants to... I should have turned down the thrust limiter. It really wants to pull. But is this kind of orbital mechanic-y, finagly stuff? I find this kind of stuff really satisfying. Oh my gosh. It really wants to pull over. Okay. Just watching the orbital parameters up in the contract there. As soon as they go green, we're good. So up in the top left, there they go. The words just went green. I'm sure there's the obligatory... Wait 10 seconds? It's probably down here. Yeah. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. There it goes! Contract green. So it considers that to be good enough. Now, I don't know if I consider that to be good enough. I can look at my orbital period. The contract's satisfied, but I'm not. My orbital period is 5 hours, 56 minutes, and 11 seconds. So what I'm going to do is just grab the thrust limiter, bring it way down, keep it on prograde, and start burning until that orbital period is exactly 6 hours, or 1 day. One day and 1 second. I overdid it. And I would continue to play with this, but I'm not going to, because don't forget that my plan is not finished yet. We still have 426 meters per second. I want to take this relay out to the moon where it will act as the second relay. Set the moon as a target. And let's see here. This is going to be a fair amount. Thankfully, this orbit, being Keos, is right. It has a 0 inclination, so getting a moon intercept should be actually pretty trivial. And again, I hopefully budgeted this well enough. So, boomity, 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 boom. There we go. And we're going to focus our view here on the moon. Oh, I guess I do need to see that relay. And right now, actually, my flicker is really, really, really bad on my monitor. I'm hoping it's not coming across on the stream. If it is, let me know in the chat. Welcome, Dare. I'm glad you were able to catch this stream. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm doing a maneuver. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so we need to, let's first see if I can get it just with adjusting the timing. Oh my god, that's way too little timing. Always play with the timing first so that if you can do some more retrograde, there we go. Oh, that's not getting an intercept at all, so that's no good. Okay, moving the timing to, I'm so used to low Kerbal orbit where the timing is a big deal. And I want my periapsis to just touch, like this here is my target really. I want my periapsis to just touch the target orbit there. Let's see if we can dial this out. Doing it again for as little cost as I can because I am a cheap SOB. I gotta be in the slower, just to put this out here, the slower my moon intercept, which means the more look how much of this arc is already in the moon's SOI, and the more I can take off this burn, the more of this arc is still in the moon's SOI, and the more closer I am, the cheaper my capture will end up being. So I'm really, whoops, might have been a little too far there. I don't think I'm too far at all. Whoops. You know, maybe I should... I always say maybe I should stop, and then I never do. More retrograde. The more retrograde, the better. Let's see. I must be getting pretty close to as much as I can get away with. As long as I can get it closer with the timing, that means I can do it cheaper. But I think I'm calling it. But look how close I am to a capture already. I'm already at it. So this capture is going to be trivially nothing. So all we're aiming for here is just to have the periapsis right there, just above. I notice a little bit of a plane issue coming up here, and that burn's coming up in just a couple of hours, so why don't we just do that? So I always F5 before some massive time warping. And 9 second. Do I have this turned down at all? No, I don't. Okay. So let's go. Let's go. Yeah, KSP2 conversation going on there. Yeah, all in good time, I think, is a good way. To me, and I've tried to do more KSP2 type of content, but I find it just very frustrating because the bugs eat my ships. I don't like having bugs eating my ships. And I also like to play more of a career type of mode. I guess that shouldn't surprise anybody given what my live streams are like. I like building the infrastructure and going through a campaign as opposed to just, well, let's just build something to go here and let's just build something to go here and let's just build a cool plane. That won't hold my interest for too terribly long. Okay, I need to get ready here. So getting that onto our vector. Well, let's start. I just won't go to full throttle. The timing of this isn't super crucial. Oh, this is not... Oh, I forgot how unbalanced this dopey thing is. I should really just turn down the thrust. Yeah. Okay, we'll go really low here. Oh, I already overdid that a little bit. Oopsie doodle. Let's turn down the throttle. Turn down the throttle. And flip it around. The reason why it's unbalanced is because I got this mystery goo here. I didn't think it'd make a big deal, but it is putting it. I should have put it on the top. That would have fixed the balance issue. And notice I'm not even using the mystery goo because there's nothing really to collect and transmit. Been out here before. Same with the materials bay, but they're there because the contract asked for it. I mean, why else would they be there? Okay, let's push this periapsis out just a little bit. There, now with the thrust turned down, this is much easier. There we go. That's pretty good. Reorient this. Alright, so when are we going to be at the moon here? We're going to be at the moon in just a couple... Oh no, that's our exit of the moon. Sorry. We'll be there in a day and an hour. You know what I'm going to do? We'll come back here in just a second, but I do want to just very quickly, it's been a little while since I've checked. I just want to take a look at any available contracts that may have come up. I got to start picking up more contracts. Dying to Play is asking, what did he miss so far? Not a lot. We're taking our satellite we put in Keostationary Orbit last episode, and we are shuffling it over to the moon where it'll act as another relay. And I'm just doing a quick look at contracts. These are probably ones I won't get to. Another build one. Outpost on the moon, it might be a little early for that. Surveys of Kerbal, explore Kerbal. Oh, transfer any crew between vessels near Kerbal. That sounds like a good excuse. I want to get in. I'd always love building space station. Oh, look at this. Build a new orbital station around Kerbal. Okay. 5,000 units of electric charge. I always find these kind of requirements a little silly. Have to support at least 6... yeah. We're going to save that one for the future and do a crew transfer. Might as well grab that at the same time. I'm not repositioning my Moon Relay 1 because it is in the perfect position where it is. Why would I want to change that? Oh! Yeah, do a simple scan with the rover arm of a baobab tree. I like that idea, and that will test whether I have the... And a position... No, I'm done with positioning satellites. This will get me my 3 moon relays, and I'm happy. I'm happy. Now, are there any of those... I'm looking at these conduct atmospheric surveys of Kerbal. Above... No, I'm not going to grab if there were 3 of them. If there was just one above, I would show you a cheap way to do that. These are a pain when they're above this much, because the low-tier jets can't reach this altitude without significant help. I think I'm good. I think I'm good for contracts. Okay, let's get back. Back. Moon Relay 2. I'm seeing I got as much... not me, the person was talking about themselves, but I'm going to apply that to me as well, is saying I got as much creativity as a toaster. That's why I don't like Sandbox. I'm kind of the same way. I'm not that, I don't consider myself to be that creative a person. I like to have an objective, and then the vessels always are formed towards the objective rather than the other way around. I'm setting up an alarm for this SOI change. There we go. So that's coming up in a day and an hour and 23 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on that alarm here. Okay, and then because I want to watch from here. I don't know about you, but this is pretty. And we'll put it on free so it's even prettier. There we go. Okay. On our way to the moon. We should be seeing the moon coming at us. Actually, let's put it in orbit. Orbit view. There we go. Moon should be coming from behind us, right? Should be. Somewhere. Somewhere there's the moon. Spoiling our nice geostationary orbit. Oh, I can time warp more. Well, Slush Puppy is asking about a synchronous orbit. A synchronous orbit's not quite the same thing as a geostationary orbit. It's an orbit that returns to the same position on a regular period. And they can come in different flavors, those orbits, as far as I can understand. So I'm sorry if I'm not much help here, but do they not in the contract give you an orbit to shoot for? I would just say put it in the orbit they tell you to put it in. But I don't know. I don't know if I've ever done one of those types of contracts. Okay, where's the moon? Where are you, moon? Should be coming from behind us. Okay, why am I blind? Oh my God, there you are. Okay. Okay, so now I need to find, there we go. Just crossed into the moon's SOI. So now what I need to do is to get a capture. Let's focus this on the moon. And eventually I want to end up inserting myself into this orbit. But if I set this back as a target and add a maneuver here, I don't want to just insert myself into this orbit here. And notice that this is giving me my target at, what do we got here? This is our closest approach, and this is where our target's going to be. So if I just did a capture here, what it's going to end up doing is, you know, we'll be here, and this satellite will be here. I don't want that. Nor do I want to actually rendezvous with that satellite. I want to be a third of an orbit from that satellite. Now you can... should I? Yeah, I think I'm going to just do this by guesstimating. I could do a whole bunch of calculating, try and figure out, well, the angle's about here, 180 degrees. I would like it to be 120 degrees. So that's going to be about 60 degrees difference. And 60 degrees in a period, I'm pretty sure this is in a period of 3 hours. Let's go. I'm going to switch to it just real quick and check what its period is. Sorry, I'm doing... Its period is 3 hours, okay. So let's go back to our other relay. Yeah, oh yeah, phase angles, of course. Phase angles, thank you. Well, the phase angle right now is not really of much use, because it's giving you the phase angle of where you are now. What I'm really interested in, what's the phase angle going to be? The phase angle, by the way, is here. What the phase angle is going to be when I'm down there. But 60 degrees, 3 hours, so 60 degrees is about a sixth, so about half an hour. So I want my period, oh, I'm just going to eyeball this, to be, let's go back to the maneuver. The period of this one is 3 hours. This one I want to have more than 3 hours so that this target will have a chance to catch up to us. It's always a question of how much more. And so what I'm going to do, with absolutely no credibility whatsoever, it should be telling me my period, my predicted period here. There it is give myself, it would be 30 minutes. In other words, 3 hours and 30 minutes. If this angle here were exactly 180 degrees, but it's a little less than that. So I don't want to drift back that I want to go. I'm gonna go. It should be. I'm gonna go for 3 hours and 25 minutes, and I'm really shooting in the dark here. We might tweak this as we get closer and get a better idea what our phase angle is. Shooting in the dark. There is. I do have a video somewhere where I go over the math of all this, where I actually work it out a lot more precisely, but I really don't want to do that live, so I'm just going to eyeball it. So the idea here is to put myself into a slightly higher period, so that will drift backwards relative to this satellite. And if this ends up being wrong, all I got to do is just keep going around until it kind of looks right. So we're going to go by the seat of our pants. So let's get down towards the moon here. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just realized something else. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I should get that. I should get that periapsis down. Whoops. Because the periapsis isn't quite, see how our inclination's wrong? But I can do that. I got the ascending node coming up right here. So if I grab that, why is it putting that maneuver way out? You're a pain in the, you know, a pain in the you-know. What if I put the maneuver? It really doesn't like any of this. Keeps putting them. I don't know. Maybe that's right. It's just showing it in a funny spot. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to put the maneuver here, and it shows it over there. But let's see what happens if I actually start pushing this down. Is it making a difference? I don't think it is. No, it's changing stuff out. Okay, fine. We'll eyeball it, you stinker. We're going to eyeball this. So I'm going to time warp to where my ascending node is, and we're going to burn anti-normal. We're going to eyeball you. If you want to be that way, then I'm going to just not pay any attention to you. Yeah, that was weird how the maneuver popped. I think it's because I'm so close to a capture that the game doesn't know whether I'm orbiting the moon or orbiting Kerbal. I think that's really what it is. But what I'm just going to do here is burn anti-normal, so southwards, and just bring this periapsis down. I think, like, we're just going with our eyeballs. Nothing wrong with eyeballs. What's this now at? See that? Yeah. We can use it. We don't need a maneuver. There we go. So we got a relative inclination now of 0. Now I'm going to put this guy here, and we're going to go for, I think I said 3 hours and 25-minute period, shooting completely in the dark. And like I said, I might modify this. There we go. See how this looks. So here's our satellite coming in towards the moon. Watch it from here. And you know, like, we all love to get these satellites perfectly positioned, but it certainly isn't necessary. Okay, so you can see how the maneuver or the close approach indicators are working right. You know, when we're here, this guy's going to be here. I'm going to go for the orbit as it says. Now a phase angle, by the way, if I do go to phase angle, is getting close. Now it'll actually, as we approach our maneuver... Oh, I'm pushing the wrong time warpy button. This phase angle... Oh, no, it's not. It's changing. This phase angle is getting close to... I said 100... Oh, now... Yeah, now... Okay, it's less... Pause for a second. Oh, shoot! Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. You know what I just did there, right? When's our last save? I hate... That's why my mistakes are always... Now let's go back to the mission. I just time warped right past it. And my mistakes are almost always these stupid time warp mistakes. I got one, a persistent one at 3 out here, just a little bit ago. Let's load that. What a rockhead. What a rockhead. That's why I quick save. I gotta quick save more often. I don't quick save enough. But I get my fingers mixed up, and I fumble with my fingers, and then, yeah. Okay, so let's get back to here and here. Where are we at? I already talked through all this, but where are we at? Oh my gosh! Aren't you my friend? Aren't you my buddy? Oh my god, I don't think the game's ever been that nice to me before. Okay. Wow, it did an autosave right there. Aren't you special? Okay, we were watching. Okay, so I am quick saving now. Quick save, there we go. And I am going to be very careful with my time warping. But I was watching this phase angle. And I'm also watching my time to my burn. So let's get to just a few minutes before the burn. I might adjust it a little bit. This is why I'm sort of... So get a few minutes before the burn. Actually, I got a feeling my thrust limiter is still pathetic, right? It sure is. Not that. There we go. Now I got a reasonable length to that burn. There. Okay. So 4 minutes from the burn. And my phase angle's 162 degrees. I was estimating it to be 160, so that ain't bad. So that means I need to drop less than what I think. Less than what I think. So I'm going to actually do down to 120 or 3 hours and 20 minutes on my predicted period. I'm sure it'll be fine. There we go. There's the burn I'm going to perform. Let's just perform this burn. Let's just perform this burn and see what happens. Okay. Spacebar, my greatest enemy in KSP. My greatest enemy in KSP is definitely false time warping. Having my fingers in the wrong spot and think I'm killing the time warp and instead I'm hitting the period button. I'll say this for KSP too, I make less of those mistakes because I tend to use the little bar that's down here for the time warping as opposed to, I guess I could use this bar, but I don't know. Alright, this is just a burn. And we're going for about a period of 3 hours and about 20 minutes, I think, is what I said. And we'll see how that works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Once you have an orbit, you have all the time in the world to keep fiddling. So, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh yeah, we still got that little bit of a wobbly happening. God, I wish I designed this thing a little better. Okay, where's my period? 3 hours and 20 minutes is all I'm looking at. Now, I guess there's no reason to really be too precise considering I did no calculating to guess what that period should be. Okay, so we'll put this back. We now have our moon capture. And now, the whole goal here, let's get past this node and it'll update. Okay, let's look at this. So, stop. So now I've just passed this close encounter indicator. Now, when I get back to here, this satellite will be here. I think that, again, I'm using my eyeballs, I think that's pretty close to a third of an orbit. Or 120 degrees, and then when we put the third one, we'll come around here. I think that's going to be close enough. I'm curious to see what my actual, for realsy phase angle is going to be when I get there. But basically, what I'm going to do now is just go around. Oh, I might bring my periapsis down a little bit. I'll do that up at apoapsis. But I'm thinking this might work out pretty well. Save, save, says Trav. There's my quick save. Do you see that? There's my quick save. So I'm just going out to apoapsis here. I'm just going to do this manual-like. No maneuver node. We're going to put this onto the retrograde vector. And the purpose of this guy, let's center this on the moon, is just... My periapsis, I know it's hard to see now that we're far away. You can see it here. There's a little bit of gap. I want to close that gap. That's it. That's all. That's all I want to do. Close that gap. That's it. See? Not a big deal. And so the plan is now... Scroll back out. Put a maneuver here. This is going to be the match orbits. And go for a period of... well, as close as I can get to 3 hours. So there's my predicted period after that. And I'm hoping... Again, quick save. I'm hoping when we get there... Thank you very much, NC Davis, for the kind donation. I'm hoping when we get here... I did quick save. See, I think this is working out okay. I don't think my... Oh, actually, you know, I'm going to keep the target there because... It is giving me a phase angle here. I want the phase angle to be 120 degrees. It's negative. The negative positive thing doesn't matter. 120 degrees in either direction is fine. Okay, so let's just get to where we're just like very close to the burn. And if this is close to 120, I'm going to be very happy. So 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1. Okay, stop. Look at that, 127.4, 23. Like for eyeballing, I'm perfectly ecstatic with that. I'm more than happy. Now we're gonna turn down this thrust limiter again. Turn down, dummy, because the burn time is so low. There, 4-second burn time. Okay, put that onto the retrograde vector. And we will here time warp a bit more. Again, very tiny burn here, just to finish this off. Here, I'll wait till 4 seconds, and then I'll go to half throttle. Put this on the period, because that's the real thing I'm looking at. It's the thing I'm the most concerned with. And I want a period of 3 hours, as close as I can get. There, we'll turn down here. Don't need the maneuver node anymore. Turn down that thrust limiter till it's virtually nothing. Got to take 4 seconds off the period. 3, 2, 1, and boink. And what did I end up for my phase angle? 124.8. I'm going to call that 125. So I'm 5 degrees off from what would be the ideal phase angle. But hell, that ain't bad. I'm not going to complain about that. Let's get out here. Let's remove the target. Untarget that. Let's put on our... So let's see, you're getting a little bit more coverage of the moon. You can see there's still very much a dead spot there, but we'll have that covered soon.